What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Walking Dead Season 10 vlog. This is a prediction for episode 14 of Season 10 of The Walking Dead, entitled Look at the Flowers. The description for this episode is, everyone reckons with the aftermath of the Hilltop fire. Meanwhile, Eugene leads a trip to meet Stephanie. So, let us go right into the images that we have here and two additional preview clips. So, first thing is Alpha's head on a spike, jumping right into the scene of where we last left off in episode 12. We had a little bit of a reprieve with Michonne's last episode, but now we're back to the Whisper conflict at hand. Carol has succeeded in her vengeance, mounting Alpha's severed head on a spike, and Negan is right there alongside her. And I am very happy that, let me just say that I'm very happy that these characters are getting some screen time together. I thought it was a bit ridiculous that when Negan was still the big bad leader of the Saviors, that he never had any screen time with Carol. I understand that the Kingdom was very much separated from Negan. Negan never went to the Kingdom. He actually never went to the Hilltop. Actually, just recently he went to the Hilltop, but it was part of the Whisper battle. So, Negan's finally getting to do some things he should have done as leader of the Saviors, but he's doing it during the Whisper arc, which, go figure on that one. But Carol, as Negan will say in one of these preview clips we're going to talk about in just a minute, Negan says to Carol that she is a certified badass, and that he's heard a lot of these things, that she is a badass. I think Negan would have, if he was still leader of the Saviors, I think Negan would have wanted Carol to be a savior. Just like with Sasha, when Sasha went in guns blazing at the end of season 7, and she was locked up, Negan was like, hey, you've got beach ball, as he says, beach ball size lady nuts, you should join me. He was always looking for talent. He never wanted to waste talent. When he saw someone who was very strong and smart, he always wanted to utilize their strengths. So I think he would have definitely done that with Carol. But again, it was a unique situation because Carol had kind of exiled herself. If you recall, she didn't want to kill. This was back her old mentality where she just didn't want to kill because it unleashed some mental part of her she just didn't want to cope with. Also, the Kingdom had the agreement where their people didn't know about the Savior arrangement, and also Gavin was the main point of contact. If you recall, there was a lieutenant set up for each of the communities that the Saviors possessed. So it was the satellite station for the Hilltop, but once they all got massacred, it was Simon who then took over those relations. Then you had Gavin for the Kingdom, and then obviously I think Negan / Laura was kind of the envoy for Alexandria. So not to go back in the way time machine, but I just thought that it would have been interesting to have more scenes between Carol and Negan, but it only took the death of Alpha to make that happen. So better late than never. But as we see here in some of the preview clips, we have Negan talking with Carol, and he says, I upheld my end of the bargain, now you must uphold yours. I'm assuming, and we're going to get into the preview clip, because they did show the opening 2 minutes, very pivotal scene that we all could have assumed was going to be inserted at some point. But obviously Negan and Carol made a deal. I'm assuming Negan was going to be let out of jail and exonerated for the person that he killed when he was defending Lydia. However, Carol says that she's not coming back. I don't quite know where she's going. I just want to emphasize that. I don't quite know where she's going. It looks like she has Henry's staff with her, and she's just kind of going off into the woods. And yeah, I don't know what Carol's doing. I don't know what she's up to in this episode. This is kind of odd because I thought she would kind of go back to Daryl and look like a big hero who, basically decapitated the snake, cut the head off the snake, quite literally in a sense, And I don't know if she looks at this as a victory for her, probably for herself more than the communities, but she also sees it as a win-win. You know, she's doing it for herself because it's personal vengeance, but it's also helping the greater good of all the communities because these psychotic whisperers seemingly are done now that their leader is dead. But we obviously know that's not the case because there's another certified badass who is ready to take vengeance for this, but we'll get to that in a minute. So Carol crosses the border. She goes somewhere. We don't know where she's going. We got the 3 episodes left. Negan's just kind of standing there. Just like, what the hell? And then in the next shot here, we have Negan inside this cabin. Now, this is the cabin, the fake-out cabin that Lydia was in. And we know that she escaped because of the final scene of episode 12. But then Negan steps inside, sees the rope on the chair, notices that something's up, and then Daryl swiftly punches him with the crossbow and then holds Negan at, would you say, arrow point? Not necessarily gun point, but arrow point with the crossbow up to his face. And, I mean, we all know Negan's a sly, he's got a sly tongue, and I'm sure he'll be able to talk his way out of this. I don't know if Daryl will believe her, or believe him, that Carol made this whole arrangement. We'll have to see if he can... I mean, he probably will talk his way out of this. I just don't know what Daryl's opinion's going to be, because he seemed convinced, especially with, like, the trees in the road, he seemed convinced that Negan was on the Whisperer's side, and now to seemingly make this move certainly will take him by surprise. This is obviously a person that Daryl does not have, in terms of characters that Negan's interacted with, this is a character that Daryl does not have a great history with, considering he was tortured and thrown in prison and made to eat dog food because of Negan. So unlike with Carol, these two do not have a great rapport, even though in real life the actors are like super, super close friends, which is funny. We'll have to see how this... I don't know what's going to happen with Negan now, because... And I'm saying from a comic perspective, because Kirkman very much wrote him out of the story. And this is another thing that I was very angry with Kirkman about. I already discussed... I had a vlog the other night you guys should check out, where I talk about why I think Alpha is the greatest villain in The Walking Dead. And in this, around the time that he kills off Alpha, not really giving her much character development as we had in the show, after the Whisperer conflict starts to subside, he then makes Negan just kind of wander off. He goes on his own, he's just a nomad, and then he just kind of leaves his old life behind, leaves the communities behind, and just walks off into the sunset. And then there's allusions to the fact that he's still alive in the final issue of the Walking Dead comic, but there's never any, like, firm confirmation. You know, Kirkman always jokes about it, but he's not a part of the Commonwealth arc at all. And I think he would have been a very comedic addition to that arc, and I think it was a missed opportunity to not have him be a part of it. And I pray and hope that he will be, because I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Dean Morgan's not going to want to take a back seat, because his big role in the comics and the show was killing Alpha and making that move. He is involved in some of the Whisperer battles, especially with Beta. So he does have some iconic scenes still left from the Whisperer War, and if we are to assume the Whisperer War is going to go on for episodes 14, 15, and 16, he'll have some fight scenes in there, I'm going to assume. But I just hope that they have some sort of plan for him, because the comics, they didn't. He was seemingly proving himself in the communities, gaining people's trust. I mean, we already know that Judith is very fond of him. It seems Lydia should be as well, because he saved both their lives, saved Judith in a snowstorm, and then saved Lydia from those people that were trying to attack her. So, yeah, he's a really important, and I think especially, maybe it's different with the comics because you still had Carl and Rick, but he's a very important addition in the show because you're running out of characters. I mean, we just had Michonne's last episode, and you're running out of, like, your main characters. You know, we've always got Daryl Dixon, obviously, is kind of our lead guy. And then we have Carol. I mean, Daryl and Carol are the two people left from our season 1 original group. But you're really running out. You're getting down to the youth. You're getting to Rosita, Eugene, Aaron, Father Gabriel, Ezekiel, Jerry. Like, you're kind of like those people I just named are kind of your guys. You've got some minor people like Alden. But we had an opportunity with Mary / Gamma, and she was killed off a few episodes ago, even though I thought they were going to keep her alive and have her become a part of the communities. Nope, they killed her off. So that's the thing. We're running out of characters, and I like that they've given emphasis to the characters that we still have. But I just wouldn't want, like, Negan's such a home run, and he just adds so much of an addition to the show. And I wouldn't want them to just be like, oh, well, Kirkman didn't write enough for him, so we're just going to have him play out the rest of his role in the Whisperer War, and then we're just going to have him walk off into the sunset. Maybe when Maggie returns, we know Maggie's going to show up at some freaking point in the last couple of episodes, so they claim. So maybe she's not going to want him around, and then he's going to fuck off because, he doesn't have a great history with Maggie. Even though that scene from the comics, which is kind of Negan's last scene in the comics, where Maggie spares Negan because she just wants him to kind of suffer for what he did, they already played that out in Rick's last episode, when Maggie went to Negan's jail cell with the intent of killing him and then spared him because she just saw that he was a mess. Now, in 6 years, he's kind of changed. He's warmed up to Judith, and he's kind of re-jump-started himself. So here's hoping. I don't expect him to die in this scene, obviously, with Daryl putting the crossbow to his face. He's probably going to try, just like Aaron, when Aaron saw him and unsheathed his sword, I'm assuming Negan's going to have to freaking be like, hold on, don't do anything stupid. So we'll see. That's one prediction. What do you guys think is going to happen with Negan? And the only thing I can think right now is that he's going to have a battle with Frowny McTwo-Knives. They've been foreshadowing that ever since Beta has shown many times that he does not like Negan, and now if he assumes, as he should, that Negan was the one who killed Alpha, he's going to want to go for Negan first. So we can assume that Frowny McTwo-Knives versus Negan, like, that's a big thing in the comic. They do fight, so I hope that is fulfilled. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if this is maintained. So the next scene is Eugene talking about, as he says in his own words, being in radio comunicado. I don't know why he just spills random Italian on us. So he mentions that he's been in radio contact with somebody, and then we jump to a scene of Jerry and Ezekiel saying goodbye to each other, because we know that Ezekiel goes with Eugene to find the radio person, who we know is Stephanie. And the thing with Ezekiel is, I thought he was a goner last season when he revealed he had cancer, but I'm thinking that maybe if Stephanie is part of a larger civilization that's advanced and can, has access to things our group might not, maybe she has, like, if we're going to assume it's the Commonwealth, because it seems to be playing out that same way, are we going to assume that maybe the Commonwealth has access to chemotherapy and the medications that could save Ezekiel's life from the thyroid cancer? It's a big stretch, but the fact that he's going on this journey is a huge clue and indication that his story might not be over yet. And I'm just going to throw that out there if any of you guys are big Negan fan, or sorry, not Negan, Ezekiel fans. I think this is a big, big clue that our favorite Dreadlocks guy may survive. All right, if he can make it to the Commonwealth, and if that is where they end up, that would then lead me to believe that he has a chance of surviving. I thought the cancer was I thought he was dead. I thought that he would not survive that, and this has given me renowned hope that he will be. So this might be the last time Jerry sees Ezekiel. You know, if Ezekiel lives in the Commonwealth, like if he needs to stay there to get treatment and get better, he's probably going to stay there. So this might be the last time in a long time that Jerry and Ezekiel see each other, which is it's kind of heartbreaking a little bit, because these two characters, especially the actors, have been filming with each other for a very, very long time. And I just like how, they've had this journey together, and not that it's coming to an end, but, now that they'll be in separate locations, you don't get that time together now. So let's hope that he does survive, that he can get treatment, that there's enough advancement in technology and wherever they're going that he can be helped. All right? So, moving on to the next image, we have... so basically, the last named Whisperer we have left, if we're not going to include Lydia because she renounced the Whisperer ways, Alpha and Gamma are dead, so Beta is our last... He's our last guy. He's our last main Whisperer, and really, once he's dead, the Whisperers as a whole and the Whisperer conflict will probably cease. And that's why they're setting up the stuff with Eugene's radio stuff and him going off, because there's a new storyline that they're going to be seamlessly merging into. And I think that they don't want a jarring jump, from the Whisperers straight to the Commonwealth. Theory I've been thinking about, and I've been mentioning this in a few other vlogs. Do you think that the Whisperers, and if we're going to assume that this radio thing with Eugene is the Commonwealth, do you think that the Commonwealth and the Whisperers will overlap? Maybe Eugene... Well, he wouldn't know that, though, right? Because they all think with Alpha dead, and we kind of saw this in last week's episode, Michonne's last episode, because Judith tells Michonne, which I'm glad she got this closure, because she can kind of feel better, and I said this in my review, she can feel at ease leaving her children, because the big threat that she left behind is seemingly defeated now that Alpha's dead. But they think they've won. They think that they've won this battle because of her, and they obviously have not. The Whisperers, members of the Whisperers are still out there, as is their second in command, technically. And this guy, obviously, is a certified badass, if you want to talk about certified badass. We've seen him in many fight scenes, literally Night of the Living Deading his way through Alexandria in a spooky sequence. So we know this guy means business, and he was really, really fond of Alpha, and he's going to take the forces of the Whisperers and try to, and the Horde, let's not forget the Horde is still out there, and level our survivors if he has anything to say about it. So, I don't know, would it make sense to keep him alive going into Season 11? That's a big question, because I don't know if the Commonwealth, to get back to my point, how would Eugene know, unless someone that's a long-range walkie-talkie, I don't know if you'd be able to do that, but if he used his walkie-talkie to ask if they need assistance, because would the Commonwealth come back, or maybe Eugene wants to show them their civilization, or if we're going to assume Hilltop is burned to the ground, it would literally just be Alexandria. And so if he brings the Commonwealth back and the Whisperers are still a conflict, would they intervene and try to take down the Horde? Would they ask for some payment first? Would it even happen? Do you guys think it makes sense? Do you think they should handle the Commonwealth stuff separately? Or should the Whisperers, they die and then the Commonwealth? Or maybe the Commonwealth is linked to helping save the day and taking out the Mega Horde and the remaining Whisperers who pose a threat to the group. So let me know what you think about that one. Obviously, just as I was talking about, we have... Now this is interesting. We got a group of 3 here. We've got Eugene, Ezekiel, and Yumiko. So we know why Ezekiel's probably going, but why would Yumiko go? Because she has closure knowing that Connie's alive. Or not Connie. Every time, guys, I mention Magna and Connie, I always mix them up. Magna. Yumiko knows that Magna is alive. Yes, we confirmed that in episode 12. Yumiko punched Carol because she was angry about that, the fact that Carol almost got her killed. So maybe Yumiko is not... I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Does she just need to move on? She needs to get away. There's a little bit too much drama. I'm not sure. The thing is, with episode 14, like we in the description, it says we're going to get the aftermath of the hilltop battle. So where is everybody at? I couldn't tell from the clip where Eugene's talking because it looks like he's in a cabin. So did they go to Oceanside? Did they all congregate at Alexandria? Is the hilltop a lost cause? Like, are they going to try to go save it, or did everything burn to the ground and there's walkers roaming around? I don't know. Let me know. That's another one. Do you think the hilltop is a lost cause? Have we, in back-to-back seasons, season 9, we lost Kingdom, and Hilltop we lost in season 10, which the Whispers, those crazy fucking Whispers, are responsible for destroying 2 communities. And then Alexandria is seemingly in the crosshairs of the Horde. Now that that's kind of like the last, and we know that Beta has been inside Alexandria. He knows where it is, so there's nothing stopping him from bringing the Horde there. So what do you guys think about that? For now, so what city is this? Is a question I had. Now, would this overlap with the movies? Because, so my theory, wow, there's a lot of things that are going on here. All right, my theory for the Rick Grimes movies, I thought that Rick was being held in Philadelphia, and since Michonne is traveling north, I thought that that's where she was going to go to find Rick. Now that we have that confirmed, so it's another area of Virginia. Or are we going to assume that this is downtown Virginia, like the capital in D.C.? Because if I recall, when Eugene last had the radio contact, he said that it was somewhere in Virginia, like Charleston, Virginia, I think. So, all right, so this wouldn't be Philadelphia, because in the comics, that's where he goes. They ride on horseback with a much larger group, might I add you. If they run into trouble... I would hope, I mean, Ezekiel's a fighter, Yumiko's a fighter, but I mean, I guess maybe that's all you need to defend Mr. Eugene, I do declare. Okay, so because in the comics, they ride on horseback to Philadelphia, and maybe it's Pittsburgh. It's either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, I forget in the comics, but since they're in Virginia, that'd be a long-ass trip by horseback, so... And I don't even know why they would go there, because the location that they agreed on was Charleston. So, ignore what I'm saying about Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. That's just in the comics. They're doing it different in the show. The question here is, how much of this are we going to get? Because this is obviously going to leave off on a cliffhanger. Eugene's going to meet up with somebody, and they're going to have this as a cliffhanger going into season 11. We're either going to have the Whisperers wrapped up by the end of the season, or maybe some lingering stuff with them going into season 11. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how this season's going to end. I really don't know. At least last season, I could say that the Head Pikes would be the finale, and it kind of was, even though we had that last snow episode that kind of just had the aftermath of it. But this is a real wild card. I don't know. And some of the final episodes, 15 and 16, are named for big comic book moments. The Tower, in which a main character falls to his death off of a tower and dies. And then A Certain Doom, where a major character dies. But that character has now been removed. It would have been Michonne. Had she still been in the show, but we know she's not in these last couple of episodes. So it can't be her who's going to get that big, huge, humongous death. So I'm going to save those predictions for the finale and episode, like depending how things play out. Episode 14 is going to give us a huge indication as where things are going. There's a lot of questions, and there's only 3 episodes left. And I feel like there's a million questions that I have right now. So let's see how they deal with this, how much emphasis they give to the Commonwealth radio situation with Eugene, to Beta's vengeance with the Whisperers, Negan reassimilating himself. Like, is he pissed off that Carol kind of messed with him? Is there actually a deal that he's in on? What does the title of this episode mean? Look at the Flowers is a reference to Carol and what she said to Lizzie and Mika, or Lizzie, when she killed Lizzie in season 4. So, yeah, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. You guys tell me what's going on. So we have that preview clip, and that's just like the preview that shows after the episode. And then the opening minutes that we have are a scene that I assumed we would get eventually. It's Negan and Carol, a longer scene between them, probably the first scene between them. And the way Negan talks, he really has not talked to Carol, but only heard of her. And this is the scene where Carol says, "You don't have to die, you can be exonerated, I need you to do this thing." I like how she has the caveat, like, you have to do it quickly. And then at the end of episode 12, she says, "Oh, it took you long enough." So what, is she going to say, "Oh, you didn't do it quick enough"? So I don't know. I'm just glad in this sequence we finally have some Carol and Negan stuff. It was always frustrating me that two of the biggest, the coolest, toughest, strongest characters we have in this show haven't had a scene together until this episode, and then that brief scene in episode 12 where Negan rolls Alpha's head to her. So finally, it only took the Whisperer conflict for this to happen, but I'm glad we're finally getting it. I mean, what a time for it to happen, but I'm glad nonetheless it is. So we will see if Carol, because again, like, Carol just seems to be going off on her own. I don't know where is she going to? Alpha is dead. What reason does she have to just walk off into the freaking woods? I don't get it. I don't know what her angle is now. Like, I knew, at least before, I could theorize that she had a plan to kill Alpha, but now that Alpha's dead, like, what's her plan? That's my question. What is Carol's plan now that Alpha's dead? Big question. Okay? And then, I guess piggybacking right off of that, we have Carol in the woods, and this is the Talking Dead preview clip, because they did have Talking Dead. It was in a very goofy webcam format, where some people were, it went, for a webcam formatted television show, it didn't go that bad. I thought it was going to be worse with technical problems, but for the most part, they made it work. They had Denai Guerrera for her final episode. I'm really glad they were able to show her some love and have her on that. That's probably why they did it. They did not confirm there would be a Talking Dead for episode 14. Really, it depends. They said to just check on social media, so I will obviously do that. I liked it. I mean, you still had all of the normal freaking cutaways and stuff that they usually do, and the preview clip at the end of the Talking Dead episode. So this is the preview clip that they offered us, and it shows Carol just wandering in the woods, and then Samantha Morton's time is clearly not up in The Walking Dead, because Carol is wigging out. She sees Alpha, and Alpha says that she's always watching. So it seems like even though Carol got her revenge and killed Alpha, Alpha will always haunt Carol. And I think, by saying I'm always watching, I think that's that's the truth, that she will always be just inside Carol's head for not only what she took from Carol in terms of her family and Henry and the kingdom, but just the mind games. Alpha is an evil Carol, and it's like how in season 7 and 8, Rick and Negan were foils of each other. Negan was the evil Rick, if you wanted to see it that way, and those two were toe-to-toe for Negan's reign as leader of the Saviors. And I think that the same can be said of Alpha and Carol, that Alpha is the evil Carol, and both are very witty, smart, manipulative, and I really, really like. I like how they get that Alpha serves that character foil to Carol, and again, not having Rick in the show allows that to happen, because if Rick was still the macho leader, how would he be really a foil towards Alpha? You would take away screen time from some of the stuff that you've done with Carol. So yeah, I like that this is still going on, but again, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with Carol, because she's almost going down the if you guys remember on season 8, Morgan. Remember Rick's the freaking, if we remember him from Fear the Walking Dead, we don't know if he's going to live through the events of the season 5 finale, but Morgan had all of these PTSD psychedelic sequences where he would see Gavin and he would see Jared. He would, you know what it is, and Morgan was just attacking the air, and he was going nuts. His clear mode, he was just going completely crazy, and I think Carol is kind of heading down that route for similar reasons, and I have some big predictions about Carol. I think I don't want to say them now because they relate to the final episodes of this season, and I'd rather save it for that. So for now, I kind of, just want to leave this out there for you guys. See what you think. We got a lot to really go through in this, and this vlog ended up being pretty long because there's just so many freaking angles. I mean, you got Negan, you got Eugene and the radio in the Commonwealth, you've got the remaining Whispers with Beta, and you've got, Carol having all these problems, even though her adversary is dead, and the other characters, where do they go? Do they go to Oceanside, Alexandria? Is Hilltop a lost cause? So many questions. Where do we go from here? I want to know what you guys think. So let me know, comment, and hopefully this can, just take your mind off of current events. And I have a couple of other Walking Dead vlogs. Normally, I would only do the 2 vlogs a week because I'm pretty busy, and I only have enough time to do a preview vlog for the upcoming episode, and then my reaction and my review once the episode lands. But due to current events, as you all probably are affected or know about, I will have more time to do some collaborative, yes, keyword collaborative vlogs in the very near future. And so I'm going to take advantage of that because I think I should. I mean, I have the free time to I can sink my teeth into my channel a little bit more now, and I think I should take advantage of that. And it just gives me a chance to connect with you guys on another level. And provide you with more content, because I'm sure some of you might not have, work or something, and you need something to do, and hopefully I can provide these vlogs to entertain you. It's funny because some of my old fans are going back to my video gaming content when I used to do game playthroughs, and there's a playthrough I did like 7 years ago. And this one fan in particular has been watching the whole marathon of like 300 videos. And keep in mind, this is when I was in high school and had a lot more time to just make any type of video I wanted. So all that content is still on my channel from when I had all those years and time on my hands when I was younger to do the YouTube channel. And it's all still on YouTube. So if you want to go into my archive, be my guest. At this point, I'm not going to go private videos because there are some video games that were, that used to make me rage back in the day, and the footage isn't the most watchable stuff if I'm being critical of myself. But yeah, just view whatever you want. My channel is there. I've made playlists for most of the content. I still got to make a season 10 playlist for Walking Dead, but I'm kind of waiting until all of the season 10 stuff is out so I can make one organized playlist. So all right, thank you guys. Vlog went on for a long time, but I had a lot of predictions and stuff to get to, so let me know what you think. Comment below, and stay tuned for Hopefully another vlog, because again, last week I had why Alpha was the greatest villain. That was an extra vlog in addition to what I've done, so I'm hoping to do more stuff like that. So stay tuned for whatever that is. You'll see it in your subscriptions box, and sometimes I make updates on my Twitter, and those are all the ways you can reach me. So, all right, thank you. Peace out. See you later.